Hello, welcome to Something. I'm Dena.
And I'm Diana.
We are so glad you're here. Today, Diana, I want to start with a question. Do
Okay.
you do you think manners matter anymore?
Yes, manners matter a lot, but very few people are taught manners anymore.
Yeah, I think it's
But
kind of
yeah, they're important.
I think so too. My go-to, and it's easy because I'm not a mother and never will be, is to say, I blame the parents. And I'm sure there's a lot of parents hollering at me right now, but if your child doesn't know manners, it's because you didn't teach them
That's
manners.
correct. That's my
They don't,
opinion.
yeah, they don't teach it in school. And maybe the parents weren't taught manners. Maybe it just gets less and less important to be just basically polite. But I'm like you. I think it's it's yucky out there sometimes because of that.
Mhm. People, the other day, for instance, was turning left onto a road. We were three back waiting, and it was a two-way road. And this guy was turning into where we were trying to turn out of and had plenty of time to let that car that was in the front turn left and go, but they didn't. They just came right on through. And I thought to myself, it wouldn't have taken 2 seconds at the most to just be kind, be conscientious that there are people there waiting and you could help out a little bit
Mhm.
and just be thoughtful.
Yeah, be courteous because especially in traffic like that, if you can let one person go, it can just solve a lot of issues.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
People are so, I don't want to say people, there are people who are so afraid to give any of their power away. You know what I mean? It's like they feel powerless and they're like, I'm not giving anybody anything. I'm going. I'm not going to do it. You know what I
I
mean?
never thought about it that way. Powerless. That's a different perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one thing you can do. You can be a butthead in traffic if you want to. And who's going to stop you? But I kind of overdo it. I'll be like letting one car after another, and the car behind me is like, beep, that's enough. Go.
It's our turn now.
Exactly. Well, I did a little research and I discovered that there's actually a difference between manners and etiquette. And do you remember Miss Manners?
Oh yeah.
And that was
We
a
got to bring her back. Or
exactly.
maybe you and I, if politeness and courtesy is not being taught, perhaps people can listen to our podcast and get a few little hints if they didn't receive that as they were growing up.
That's exactly what we're going to do. Miss Manners was, I had her description open, but I closed it. But she is a author, a journalist, kind of like Dear Abby, had a column in 1978, and I think it's still active in some newspapers. Judith Martin, I believe, is her name. And, I'm going to say, well, Miss Manners, who made you the queen of rules and how to act? But I think she's been out in public, and a lot of it's just common sense,
Yeah.
just to be kind. But so the difference between manners and etiquette, and I'm going from an article that's in Paper City magazine, and I'll include a link. It's written by Heather Weiss Alexander, and she says that manners are just kind of what you expect a mentally healthy human being, civilized human being to do. In other words, if you went out to lunch with your girlfriends and you sat down at the table and one of your friends took her shoe off and slapped her foot up on the table and started clipping her toenails, that would be bad manners because
Oh my goodness. Yes. I'm sorry. I think I'd have to chime in there.
and duck the nails flipping through the air. Some people do that on airplanes. They put their feet up and start clipping their nails. Well, I've seen pictures, but
Really?
yeah. But
That's
anyway, that's just
gross.
manners. Just what you expect. Etiquette is kind of what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about both, but etiquette is a higher bar. It is the next level and shows that you are intelligent, sophisticated. Etiquette will show that you have expanded experience and a higher education regarding specific scenarios. And this is according to this article. And maybe you're like, I don't care about being frou-frou. But I think in any kind of business or anything, learning those kind of things can help you advance your agenda, you know.
Sure.
All right, so let's get into the different topics. We'll see how bad we've been doing or how good we've been doing. I consider you more worldly than me because of my income and things, I haven't been able to travel like I've wanted to. And when I pet sit and house sit, I sit for upwardly mobile people, let's say. And I kind of would observe how they would act. But I didn't socialize with them. Occasionally they would invite me, to their country club as a courtesy or a Christmas dinner. And I was
Mhm.
very uncomfortable. How do you feel in situations like that? Have you been around long enough to know what to do and not what not to do?
Been around a lot of dinner parties, but Dina, I still get nervous. I just think it's me personally because I know what to do. And I still get confused as to what fork I'm supposed to eat my salad with.
Well, maybe we'll talk about that today. I know. I think the basic rules work from the outside in. So if they bring a salad, you take the one on the outside. I don't know, but I mean, we're just two country girls, and I don't say that as a put down. I'm happy to be a
Oh,
hillbilly.
me
Uh,
too.
so we're going to kind of walk the line where if you choose to do these things and follow these things, you have the knowledge. You can say no thanks and be yourself, however you want to do. But it's kind of like I think about Pretty Woman, that movie where he took her
Oh,
out
yeah.
to dinner and she was trying to eat the oysters and slung them across the room, trying to shuck them. He found that endearing, and she got a millionaire in the end. So who knows?
She must have done something right.
Yeah. All right. So basic modern manners for opening a door, according to this article, is any human being, regardless of their gender, should hold the door for the person before or after you if they're close to you. Do you do that?
Absolutely.
I do that
I
too.
sometimes even wait on somebody. If I know that they're coming through that door, it's just going to be a few more steps. I just hold it for them.
Yeah, I do that too. Like I go in and out of like convenience stores. I'll get gas and go inside to get something to drink or use the bathroom, and I'll hold the door. I can see the reflection, in the glass, and it'll be a man, and he's like, "Why are you holding the door?" He's taller than me, so he'll hold it above me and let me in. So, but I just feel like, why let a door slam in anyone's face, regardless of they're capable of holding a door? But sometimes it makes them run, and I'm like, "No, don't run."
Right.
When
They're just
someone's
being courteous in return.
yeah, kind of. I'm going to shuffle. I do that too. Somebody's holding the door. I'm like, oh, I'm hurrying. I'm coming. So that's just modern manners. Now, according to etiquette, men, I'm speaking of men, wait for a lady that is behind you, even if it's for a few seconds. Reach for the door if she's immediately ahead of you, like over the top of her head. Have you ever
Right.
had somebody? That's nice. Women, this is to you. Allow it and say thank you.
Mhm.
Women are some women are defensive about that. And I think some men are afraid to do it. I have men shut doors in my face all the time. And I think they're afraid I'll say, I don't need your help.
Well, every man needs to know that not one, every woman subscribes to the ideology that females don't still need to be treated with respect.
Right. I think if you're a female and you are offended by a man holding a door for you, you need to work on something there about your resentment. There's some resentment there, or you feel weak, or you feel helpless. And again, that helpless thing comes in, and you need to work on that, I think. They assume, I don't assume it anymore, but when I was younger, you assume maybe they're going to flirt with you or say something to you, so you just close off. But
Right.
I don't have that problem anymore. Don't let the door, this is also etiquette, don't let the door shut behind you on any person, male or female.
Mhm.
That's just a gesture of respect. And if someone
Yes.
is offended, let them be offended and you did the bigger thing. And maybe they'll realize, hey, wait a minute, that was just kindness.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
paying,
really, that's on them at that point. You did what you should do, and then everybody else has to figure out how they respond or what they think.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think you can change your set of morals and beliefs and behaviors based on what other people are going to think, regardless of what it is.
No, if you do that, you're so swayed on everything in your life.
Yeah. Paying on a date. Basic modern manners. Today, whoever invited the other to dinner or lunch is considered the host. The host offers to pay, or the bill is split evenly. Now, it doesn't say this is a date necessarily. So, if I invited you to lunch, I'm trying to think, if I'm the one who initiated and invited you, would I be expected to pay? We don't do that, do we?
No, I don't expect that.
Yeah. I think if it's a birthday or event, or if the person's like, well, actually, it's not in my budget. It's the end of the month and I really can't go to this nice restaurant you want to go to. You could
Right.
say, my treat, my treat.
Yes. Yes.
All right. I think if it's okay, so that's just basic modern manners. They say if you're the host of the date, you should pay. An etiquette rule would be traditionally a gentleman should pay. However, if the woman wishes to contribute, she could say, let's split it evenly down the middle. Not, okay, let's see, I had the soup and you had the steak. Just split it down the middle. How do you feel about if it was let's say if it was a first date and you didn't feel like you would want to see the man again, what would you do when the check came?
On the first date, I personally would not want to feel like I owed him something or he have that idea in mind just because he paid for dinner. So I would politely say, I'm going to pick up, my tab, and whether we split it or, whatever, have the server, bring two different checks, either
Yeah.
way. But no, on the first date, if I don't know them, I don't feel comfortable them paying. I'm more than capable of paying. I'm a working woman, and I wouldn't want to offend somebody, and I would explain that. But that's my take on that.
Yeah. I think if you are into him and you think I'm going to see him again, I think I'd let him pay. I think I'd just say, oh, thank you. Because if he didn't want to pay and I was into him, I think I would be turned off. If he invited
Understand
me on a
that.
date. Yeah.
And you can always say, if you do like him, say, next time it's my treat. And then that way you're almost preempting another, session of date or whatever with him. You're kind of laying that out there.
I think that first date is real important because you're establishing how to be treated. So if you say, oh no, I'm paying for my own, and you look at the ticket and you figure it out in separate checks, it sets a bad tone for if you're looking to be in a serious relationship, to be married to a person one day. My old-fashioned views that the man should be the initial provider and likes to be the take charge and care for the woman. You're setting a
Right.
bad tone, I think.
Right.
It's also rude, according to this, if someone, let's just say it's two women, someone offers to pay, and then you're like, no, I'd really feel more comfortable paying for my own. And they say, oh, let me, you get it next time. You should drop it, rather than get into a disagreement. If someone is the initial offer to pay and you offer back and they say, no, let it drop and let them pay.
Yes. Agreed.
Okay, I agree with that too. Oh, this is interesting. Which side of the table does the woman sit on when you go into a restaurant? In other words, traditionally, the lady would seat with the view of the room and the man would have the back to his room.
Correct. The man should have his front to the door.
Oh, okay. This is saying the opposite, and I don't agree. I mean, in other words, they're saying the woman should have the nice view of activities and the man should have a view of the wall. But I feel like in modern times, when I was married, my husband said, I always need to watch the door. If there's a choice, I need to face the door just because he was paranoid about something happening.
Well, and that paranoia is real today. And Dan feels like that he should be able to, again, watch the door, to kind of evaluate what's coming in. He just
Uh-huh.
feels more protective of me in that way. So he does always face the door.
I agree. I agree. And this is if the female says, no, no, I prefer sitting, like maybe there's a draft. I prefer sitting on this side. You should defer to the female.
Sure. Agreed.
Pulling out the chair. If a waiter is leading you to a table, more than likely they will do this. Now, this is a nice restaurant, apparently. If it fits your circumstance, give a woman their choice of the seat first, then let the waiter handle the chair. Stand until the guest is seated. Don't plop down into the chair you prefer. I find it a little awkward. How do you do that when somebody's putting a seat in? Don't you find it awkward trying to scoot up while they're pushing it and you're trying to pull up the
Very. Even when Dan does it, I know how he does it, I still feel like it's awkward.
I thought maybe that was just me. I don't know how to coordinate my body to pull the chair while they're pushing.
Well, maybe it's just us, dear.
I'm trying to think, it's been so long since I've been on a date. Restaurants I go to, the waiters do not put the seat up for you, but I think if my date pulled out the seat, you know, I kind of gestured his hand like, which seat do you want? I chose, and he pulled it out. And then I kind of pull it back up myself. That's where I'm more comfortable.
Yeah, me too. But Dan still pushes it up.
So sweet. I mean, if somebody wants to make the effort, let them. Don't make them feel awkward. A professional dinner, typically the client is treated, and I'm sure you run into that with your business and with Dan's business. If you're trying to do a deal with someone and you're the business owner who's trying to get someone else as a client, you should at least offer to pay. Do you agree?
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
And you tell the waiter before, don't make a big ado of it, meaning, hey, I'm going to pick up the check so that everybody hears it. You discreetly let the waiter know, please give me the check.
Right. Right. And it says you should not expect the deal to go through because you paid for dinner. Like, oh my gosh, I bought your steak. Why can't you give me this account?
Why did that $1 million deal not go through?
All right, walking on the sidewalk with a woman. Gender roles being what they are now, simply make sure you're considerate of the person you're walking with regarding safety and obvious issues like rain puddles, sidewalks, closures. So if you were walking with your friend and you saw a puddle coming up, it's on their side, obviously you're going to let them go in front of you and go around it or move over so that they can go around it. That's basic modern manners. Let's say you left that business meeting and it happened to be a man that you were doing business with and you had to walk to your cars. He really should walk on the outside. That should just come natural, I would think.
Yes. And I think I see most men doing that.
Yeah. The point is to be protective and mindful and don't make it a big issue. Just kind of casually, if you're being classy, you just kind of move over to the side where the street is. If you're a man,
Yes.
basic social skills.
Wow, we got a big one there.
Yeah, this is a big topic. You're hosting a party, someone comes in, they're from your other friend circle, but you invited them. They don't know many people. Basic modern manners is to introduce your guest to at least two people right away so that and maybe kind of start a conversation like, this is how I know Jane. And Jane, you might be interested to know Mary does this also for her living or something. Get a conversation started.
Yeah, get a common thread there.
Uh-huh. And then etiquette a step above. You would never expect for a friend to fend for themselves. Just open the door, say, hey, and then go flit off. That's very awkward. I've been in situations like that to go into a party and know no one.
Yeah, that's not cool.
And I can understand as a host, you might get caught up and they go, shoot, I just left them standing there and they were talking. But I also think this is not on here. This is my opinion. Well, let's see what this says. You arrive at a party and you don't know anyone. I was going to say, I think it's kind of on you also to be a grown woman and mingle, socialize. You know, this person didn't take you to raise. You're out in the world. You're not a little shy kid. You need to work on your social skills if you're that uncomfortable. And there's so many people there to get to know. And I've gotten much better about that. I've got more confident as I've gotten older. This says basic modern manners. If you're not comfortable introducing yourself, wait away from the party until your friend arrives. If you arrive first, then go in together. Good etiquette is to scan the room for a person or couple possibly in the same boat. You know, somebody else standing in the corner awkwardly with a drink in their hand and go,
Saying, you look like I do. Maybe we should
yeah,
talk.
yeah, very good. You look lost like me. And introduce yourself. Don't, and this is what a go-to would be, use your phone as a security blanket to avoid social interaction until someone shows up. Don't look down at that phone. That's what we all do, though.
It is, but when you're at a party and you're being around people and trying to be social, to me, unless there's an emergency and you have someone sick at home and or something happen, that's rude to get on your phone.
It
You can get on
is.
your phone anytime.
Exactly. Yeah, if you want to be classy in a social event, don't look down at your phone if you're feeling awkward. I think go to the food. Go over to the food.
Absolutely. I've already been to the food twice by now. I'm a foodie. I love it.
Make friends with the bartender.
That too. Yeah, you can make friends with the bartender and then you're in.
Okay, good etiquette for coming and going at a party. Come and go within the time zone. Obviously, if you've gotten an invitation and it's 6 to 8, don't get there at 5:30. I don't like early arrivals at all.
Mm-mm.
I'll still have a
Mm-mm.
curling iron in my hair at 5:45 if it starts at 6.
Sometimes I'm on an immediate 30-minute countdown, and that does not include you coming early.
I know, it drives me crazy. And then, of course, staying over. Obviously, if you're really close friends with the host and they're talking to you and it's 8:05, you'll get the motion as to when you're supposed to leave. But don't just hang out and keep drinking and have to be told to leave. That's very awkward.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to bed now.
You know how to go home, but you can't stay here. If you are the last to leave, offer to help clean up.
Sure. And I think, honestly, if you're good friends with that person and you know them, just do the cleanup without asking anything. You can see where cups have been left or plates that still have a little food on them. Just go throw that away nonchalantly. Every little bit that you can do to pitch in to help clean up. Absolutely.
Yeah, because they're going to say, no, no, I'll do it. Don't worry. You're right. Just take the initiative. This does say there's a 10-minute early arrival grace period. 10 minutes. Yeah, that's okay.
Nope, I'm still on my 30-minute countdown.
Okay, greeting people. Read the body language of the person. I'm a hugger, and I hate when people say, I'm a hugger, but I have a tendency to hug people I don't know that well, and they don't like it sometimes. So read the body language of the person you are greeting. A handshake is professional, a hug is personal and exchanged only between those willing who already know each other. I think you can kind of tell when you're introduced, even if you just met them and your friends introduced them, they kind of lean forward. They're probably going in for the hug.
Yeah,
So would you feel weird if somebody you just met hugged you?
it's on the circumstances around
Yeah.
it. I've had some people just hug me like a big old bear hug, and I'm like, I just met you.
And it depends on how long
Well,
they
it
hug
kind of
you.
endears me to that person because they're just being themselves. I don't, it's not a come on. They're
Mhm.
just being themselves, and everybody has a different personality. So I think adaptation is also a courtesy because you don't want to push somebody off from a hug and offend them. So yeah, body language is huge.
Right. Yeah. I think you kind of let them make the first move. And as far as a handshake goes, this says a woman delicately offering her hand when she's introduced to a man, that's an era gone by. It'd be better to give a firm handshake.
Correct.
I think offering your hand like that is saying you're superior to that person. Okay, you're in a group of new people. Engage, talk, joke, and read the room. Ask questions that prompt others to talk. Listen first.
That two ears and one mouth thing, remember?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I think you can learn so much more by listening. You kind of give, if it's like a power party, you give your power away by talking too much, I think.
Hmm.
You don't want people to learn too much about you, but you want to learn about them.
Yeah, you want to be a little mystery.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't bring up potentially polarizing subjects like politics and religion.
Absolutely. Unless you're at a Bible study.
Yeah, and then you might want to talk about religion. How about them Knicks? You don't want to do that at the Bible study. All right. If you're seated at a group at a table and someone new walks up, basic modern manners would just be to turn and say, Hey, Diana, come sit down.
Right?
Etiquette says to stand or rise a little bit to receive the person. And etiquette don't is definitely don't ignore, like, don't continue to talk when your friend joins the table just because you're in a great conversation. I think it depends maybe on your relationship with the people. What do you think?
Yeah. Like if Janie and I were having lunch and all of a sudden you came in, I don't think I'm going to stand because you
No.
and I have such a deep relationship. Um, but again, if you're a man, I do feel like that is a um, just a respect for the woman, whether you know them well or not. Dan does that and makes the person feel welcome and make sure they're seated and comfortable, and then he'll sit back down.
Yeah, I think you kind of just lift your butt a little bit if it's a formal relationship.
Yeah,
Okay, lost my
but
place.
definitely acknowledge them.
Yeah, don't keep blabbing and then that person just kind of Oh, well, scoots over and sits down. Although I've probably been guilty of doing that. I don't know. You're at a cocktail party and it's a little group standing there talking, and somebody new walks up. And when I say new, I don't mean you don't know them. I just mean they weren't in the group talking before, but person joins the circle, stop talking. If you know someone doesn't know someone in that group, introduce the new person that's walked up and then resume the conversation and try to include the newcomer, like let them catch up. We were just discussing how
Yeah.
rainy and cold it is more than usual, that kind of thing.
Oh my goodness, is this rain not killing you?
Yeah. We were just talking about how rainy it is. I think that's just normal, and maybe we're guilty of not doing it sometimes. Don't let anyone feel ignored.
No, that's just rude no matter what the circumstance is.
Yeah. Okay. Gift giving. Okay, I'm going to say right now what my gift giving style is. If I see something I know somebody would really enjoy and I can afford to get it, I will get it and give them to them then. Or if I know something, an event is Christmas or birthday's coming up soon, I'll hold off and not give it. If I know somebody and love them and their birthday comes up and I don't know what to get them and I don't have any spare cash, I might invite them to lunch, but I don't think, okay, I gave this person this, spent this much on their birthday, so I got to give this I let it be a true,
Personal.
authentic thing. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I agree. 100%. Yep.
I don't like it when my one friend's like, "Well, you gave them something. You just got me a car." I just don't do that.
That's drama, and we're a drama free zone here.
That's right. And I'll usually warn somebody, look, I don't exchange gifts. You know, when my birthday's coming up, I'm like, don't give me a gift because I'm not going to give you a gift.
Girl, you always give me a gift. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I just see something. Oh, that's Diana. Bring a gift for the guest of honor at a birthday party. Don't bring a gift if the homeowner is throwing the party. Give it to the guest of honor, obviously. It's hard to go into a house empty-handed, I think.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times, if we're invited somewhere, we'll just take a nice bottle of wine and give to the
Yeah,
host and hostess.
that's always good. A dinner party at someone's home. Basic modern manners is if you're not bringing a dish, bring a small thank you gift for the host and send a text afterwards the next day. Let them know you had a nice time. That's basic modern manners. Etiquette, you arrive with the host gift in hand and you send the note to your host after the dinner. Etiquette don't is believing you're too busy to stop and show gratitude.
Dena, I feel like handwritten notes are becoming a thing of the past because emails and texts are so prevalent. But there is nothing like getting a handwritten, heartfelt thank you note in the mail.
I agree. Nobody does it anymore. People don't even
And
know
so
people's
when you
addresses.
do it, then you're like, oh, wow, that person really, I feel like, respects you a little bit more and thinks of you a little more highly just because you did take the time, because we're all busy.
Right, exactly. I agree. There's a whole big section here on gifts, and I don't think we need to necessarily dwell on it, but just briefly, casual get together at somebody's home, you really don't need to bring a gift. You could say, do you need something, like you're on your way there, text, do I need to bring anything? They may say, yeah, would you bring some more ice? Or, oops, we ran out of white wine or something.
If you asked me that, I'd probably be like, okay, Dana, get me some milk and bread and chicken and peanut butter. Oh, and dog food and cat food too. Thank you.
Okay, I'll be sure never to do that. All right. At school, some people will send a gift for the teacher if their kid's class, if it's a Christmas or birthday. But I think probably schools now probably have rules about whether you can and cannot do that because the people who can't afford to might feel awkward about that.
Sure.
I used to bring my t teacher a gift sometimes. Gifts to your boss when you're going up the ladder, how do you do that? Never suck up to the
With,
boss and
with a
get
lot
gift.
of thought into that gift, making sure that you're not trying to coddle up to the boss to get
Hmm.
extra bonus points, or, be thought of or put in for a position just because, you've gone above what everyone else has done. I would be careful with that.
Yeah, people are like, think you're brown nosing the boss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When somebody makes a lot more money than you do, it's kind of awkward, I think, to give a gift to someone. your superior. I just think it's kind of awkward. It makes them feel kind of weird too. Now you could all pitch in for a gift. We used to do that where I work.
Yeah, and everybody signed the card, and then it's a group thing.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'll include a link if you guys want to read. It's a lot of scenarios about who you should give a gift to and who you shouldn't, and I think that's helpful to know. All right, gossip. Ruh-roh.
Mm-mm. That's a whole episode,
I
Dina, for a
know it really is.
podcast.
Yeah, we are running out of time. Crazy. All right. Oops, you made a mistake and you gossiped. Basic modern manners. Own it, apologize, and move on.
Yeah, it's bad to be caught gossiping, so just don't do it.
Don't keep dwelling on it. It says don't make excuses. Say it. I shouldn't have said that. I am very sorry. And move on.
Yes. Yes.
Don't start the gossip and don't engage in it. That's very hard.
It
Change the
is, but I have to tell you, I worked at a hospital for 32 years with a lot of women, and I have had to say, I am leaving this conversation and actually get up and leave because I did not. And I said that I do not
okay.
want to be a part. I feel like this is gossip, and I do not want to be a part of this conversation because, of course, I was the supervisor too. And that's very important for me not to even listen and be present during the gossip because it could be kind of inferred that I was involved with the gossip. So I would just get up, explain it, and leave.
You're right. You could say, well, I was sitting there with Julie and Mary and Diana, and we were talking about, and you'd be like, oh, no, it wasn't me. I was not there. Yeah, change. It's just to change the subject politely and don't point out what they're doing. Um, but if they won't let it go, if they keep doing it, then I think what you did is exactly right. All right. If somebody gossiped about you, get over it quickly. Don't stand on the fault and start the blame game. Be a part of the solution if there needs to be one. If you want to stay in a relationship with that person, forgive them and move on. Someone with extreme etiquette in class, they say you would actually extend even more grace than they would expect and
I
make
think
a
we
big,
should all do that in most cases.
yeah, I agree too. Don't make a big issue of it. Don't tell others about what they said and don't bring it up every time you're with those people again. Well, if you remember, you said this about me. You did this. That's hard. And I do want to talk a second about, let's see, let's do this. Sensationalism and vocabulary. When you're telling a story, don't exaggerate. Don't say what you felt when the person said, oh, I'd rather not do that. And they said, I wouldn't want to do that if it was the last thing I did. You know, I have a tendency to embellish a story just to make my point, and it can be
Hmm.
harmful. The
Yeah, you
language.
can talk too much.
Yeah, the language that you use can get somebody worked up and then they're mad at that person. You're like, well, they didn't really say that they hated it. They just said, nah, I prefer not to do that. And they're like, I'm like, why did you say that?
Right.
It's kind of like gossip. Tell the game of telephone. It gets worse and worse as it goes, gets changed. But it makes it more exciting. Maintain a vocabulary for the peer group you're in and the industry you're in. You might kind of talk slang and say, ain't that right? You know, when you're with your friends just being silly, but remember who you're with because you're making an impression on them according to these rules.
Well, I have to say I'm probably guilty of that because I think the country girl is just so inbred in me. I don't even realize when I say y'all or ain't, that, and I probably should. So after this podcast, I'm going to be try to be more aware of that.
Oh, I think you know how to speak when you want to. All right, venting, we all need to do it once per topic per friend. Keep the venting from including gossipy details. Sometimes you do just need to say, I can't believe what this person did to me, but sometimes you can leave the name out. Pick one friend as your therapist. That way it won't get all spread around.
Yeah, that was what I was about to suggest. One person you trust.
Right. Okay, cursing. Fit to you.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, it's just you can keep it in your tribe. There's certain words I use around certain people, but generally I make an effort not to use what are traditionally curse words, and they're everywhere now, just so casually.
Goodness gracious, are they not? And that's so offensive to me.
Yeah. I hear mothers doing it in front of their kids, like in the stores and things, and I'm like, oh my gosh. It says save cussing for an extreme situation. I think like when you hit your toe on the table, that's a good. And never curse around people you don't know yet.
Nope.
That can be tricky because you could be with a friend you're comfortable. cursing around, and then you write, oops, I just met this person. They're going to think I talk this way all the time. All right, well, shoot, we're running out of time. We got a little over a minute left. Staying offended. It's okay to acknowledge how that feels and even exit the situation if needed. If you're offended by somebody, preferably stay and find ways to get past. Like if you've just kind of met someone with a mutual friend, you're having lunch and they start talking about something you totally disagree with, or you think, I can't believe they just said that. Just try to move on, give them the benefit of the doubt. Don't point it out and get into an argument the first time you met them. What do you think about that?
Yeah, don't get into an argument if you just met them. Goodness.
Yeah, you don't even know if you'll ever want to see them again, so it doesn't matter. Be gracious and forgiving. Don't linger on an issue. Don't require conformity to your views, and don't expect someone to conform to yours. Okay, so I would say, in conclusion, for me, that manners still matter. It's maybe not white gloves and curtsying anymore, and it's less which fork you're supposed to use, and it's more about being kind and aware and respectful of others, offline and online, because a lot of bad stuff happens online, a lot of rudeness, and a little empathy goes a long way still, whether you're just going to hold the door for somebody like we talked about, or holding a space in a conversation for someone, which I could work on because I talk over you all the time. So I apologize. So I
Me
just
as
want to,
well.
I just did it. What?
I said me as well.
No, you don't. All right. So I just want to say thanks for spending time with us again. And Diane and I would love to hear what manners or little courtesies you think are important because there's so many we didn't get to, and we'll do another episode. There's so many scenarios where that being courteous will help. I think it helps others, but it also helps you in your life to, if it's even to advance in a career or just be thought of as kind and keep good quality friends. So, Diana, close us out. Any final thoughts?
Yes, ma'am. I'm on it. So, to my gentlemen out there, please know that chivalry is still alive. And we women, most of us do appreciate it more than you'll know. And it's just those little small things that you do, hold the door, hold the chair, whatever it is that the lady needs. And to my ladies out there, it's okay to have your own business and be strong willed and have a mind of your own, but still yet allow yourself to be feminine and in touch with just who you are as a woman, to where it's okay to let a man hold the door for you or hold your seat. Let us all think about how we can make this world a better place, and that always starts with being kind. Thanks so much to Dena for bringing us all these great points. We will see you next time on Giggles and Gratitude. I can't wait, so make sure you're there, okay? Have a great week. Bye bye.